Hey everybody, Jay Barino here, thanks for joining me today. We got Karax here, and we're in position 2. Who's our position 1? Let's look. It's Han and Horner, then there's me, and then there's Swan here at the end. Alright, well, I think all three of these commanders can be pretty decent. I think Karax rather is more of a defensive commander than an offensive commander, though I guess a lot of people can rush tier 3 with him, and that's how you tend to win. So I guess that is pretty offensive. Swan, on the other hand, definitely offensive and very bad-mannered by making mass science vessels, but it really depends on who you're up against, so let's take a look. Oh, I'm going to miss my spawn. I missed it. I am a fool. Sell him. Well, at the very least, now I don't need to, now I don't need to waste money on a Sentinel. Though Sentinel, good part of pretty much any composition. Let's see if my middle friend... Okay, so we are against a Swan. It depends on what Swan's going to do. Again, that's why I consider, you know, whether you go air or ground as Karax is very much dependent on what you're... Not necessarily just who you're facing, but what they build within that faction, for example. So, like, I don't think a couple Mirages is ever a bad start. We're going to need Mirages in pretty much any composition that we have. So I'm going to throw those down. That'll kill the Hellbat. Thors eventually counter those. I think enough Wraiths would eventually counter those. In terms of cost efficiency, though, one Mirage is about as much as one Wraith. But Wraiths can dodge attacks, Mirages have that guaranteed invulnerability, etc., etc. Can debate that for literal years. But I'm pretty sure, again, it's just going to be based on what this, if this Swan makes ground, we make Annihilators. If he's going to make more of an air-focused composition with, yep, it's air. Okay, so let's get our Observer out. And make more Mirages. And then we're going to tech into Carriers, and life will be good. Now, here's the thing. Don't overreact to what you see. Right? I added 2 Mirages, and I might grab +1. If I spent every time I hit 140 and I added more Mirages, and then suddenly he tech switched to only ground, and maybe Thors, we'd be in trouble. But, again, it's really kind of understanding what they're committed to, because you can assume you're playing against another person. Oh my gosh, you gotta spread those out, dog. You're playing against another person, so odds are they're going to react to what you're doing in some way. Sometimes they won't, but most of the time, they're going to make at least an effort to counteract what you're doing. All right, so now we've lost our invulnerability and our detection, which is not super pleasant. So see what he's done? You can see that he's starting to make ground units now. So what we can do in response is throw down some Annihilators with Shadow Cannon. That will help kill the Wraiths. And pretty much Mirages and Annihilators together, they complement each other so well that I don't see a reason to rush into Tier 3. Okay. So we're going to have leftover Roaches. I think we need Annihilators. Well, we're not the follow-up to this wave. All right, I think Horner versus Zagara. All these. Oh no, it's Stetman. Okay, never mind. I think Horner v. Stetman. The Vikings just hard counter. Similar to Zagara, but he may not know that. So let's make it clear. He should just sell those. He gets free sells up to a certain amount. I never bought Shadow Cannon. Let's get Shadow Cannon.
Research is complete. May it serve you well.
We'll give him a coup. There's no anti-air here yet. So these Wraiths are, you know, I guess they're doing their job against the Roaches, as is our static defense. These Roaches aren't going to get through. They're, you know, holding on to a middle advantage, though. Sort of unnecessarily. I am a bit concerned about the Vikings dealing with that overflow.
You have not enough minerals. Put your harvesters.
Right, let's go. And as long as our Observer survives Gary, and it might not, so we just want to put it to the side so it doesn't get hit by the blast. Unfortunately, we use our shadow cannons on Gary because we're getting major leakage from both of our teammates, and then we have to kill our own wave as well. It's really not, you know, the most thrilling of things. But it's fine. You know, a lot of people, again, they kind of get in this mode like, why am I dealing with every single wave? Like, well, you know, it's still early game. Our teammates are building to something. They'll eventually be able to kind of pay for themselves, but as of right now, they're not there yet. So let's give them a break. I will grab my second assimilator because I, at least, am able to push these waves pretty decently forward. And we're holding the middle bonus, sort of. Look at those brave Mirages getting up there and hitting Gary. Again, I don't know if he realizes or not, but he can sell these for free. They're just going to die to Banelings. Each of these are 125 minerals. He could buy 2 to 3 more Vikings if he just sold those. It's fine. Again, I hate to sound like I'm irritated, because that's just rude. It's direct strike, and who cares, you know? That's kind of my viewpoint. It's direct strike, and who cares? It's all I can really say. Let's grab +2 on our Mirages. He's starting to make tanks. Again, this combination of units is very good against Swan, and it doesn't seem like he's going to really tech very much further, so we should be in good shape. We're at least, we're eating into the Swarm Queen's energy reserves. Alright, and then Devourers ain't got nothing on Wraiths. The Wraiths will clump up, but until he can get a Devourer with Biomass, which costs 3 stacks of Biomass, which is extremely expensive, I don't think he's going to be able to counter Wraiths. I'm gonna get more Mirages, and then I think I'm just gonna go to tier 3. That way I can start some carriers, so that we can start some more forward momentum here. Because honestly, at this point, like, obviously we can beat our wave. I'm not concerned about that. It's more about ensuring that we have some capital moving forward. I want to make sure that, again, as our allies are doing stuff like this, we can compensate for it. And to do that, we're probably going to need just like a big group of carriers to do it. But it's hard to say if this is going to go quickly or not. We can also get a fast tier 3. And as long as we retain vision, the carrier should really do well. I mean, against Stetman, not really. But Stetman is our overflow, so I really doubt a lot of his units will make it to us. Maybe Gary. It's really the Hydralisks. Like, how many of his Hydralisks will make it to our wave? Now that there's enough of the Vikings, I think it'll be fine. And there won't be overflow. And if there are, there'll probably be some leftovers. I could just use this to be mean, but I don't need to. Let's start throwing these down. Let's get a myriad of upgrades. Well, I might be able to get a second carrier out. Always, you know, if you can afford another expensive unit before your timer is up, I think that's better, because then you can queue the upgrades up and you might get them, most of them, up before, this is working pretty good. Queue them up before they get there. Yeah, so see, we can get this carrier now, and then I want repair drones, anti-impulse crystal, advanced repair systems, +3. So now we just, it's nice, it's a little liberating. It's just a little liberating to know, like, hey, I don't really have to do anything. I just have to sit and wait for the upgrades to complete. And I'm thinking maybe can I lift the warbots? I don't know. Maybe I can use my beam here. Yeah, okay, so now he's got the Biomass Devourer. Let him deal with those. Again, he's going to get hung up on my carriers, meaning that the Wraiths can deal with the ground attacks. I'm just waiting for the right time to use this. Devourers do more versus armored, mind you, but so do Wraiths, so even though he's got a biomass thing there, it's really not going to matter here. We'll do it here, because I'm a coward. It's the coward. It's the beam of cowardice. That's what it is. I mean, look, we wasted it, but it doesn't matter. I've been waiting for the right time to use it. No time has been the right time to use it. Okay, so let's get some more carriers this wave, and then we'll get air armor upgrades, and this should be a relatively quick game. I don't want to be... I don't know. Maybe one of them's saving and is going to do something pretty wild. But the other thing, too, is you can kind of notice that, like, Red, for example, is adding something every wave. It's not like... He's not saving for anything in particular as far as I can tell. So I think we've got a pretty solid forward momentum against him. Abathur, on the other hand... is kind of a late-game monster if you let him get there. I think I will get the turret. Thank you for that. Enjoy this total kills trophy. A lot of people don't even put those up. I do it just because I have the opportunity to. I'm going to do it. Okay, and there you go. There's that Biomass Devourer. Just bring it home. So now we're going to have that overflow. It was only a matter of time. And this is why you don't call games... You don't want to call games straight away, all right? I think that's a mistake. Granted, the Deimos Vikings follow-up, etc., etc. Just get one Raven, dude. It's just that easy. Just get one. Okay, it looks like he did sell a bunch of those. I don't want to be that player who's just constantly, like, talking shit about my allies, because I make plenty of mistakes. Plenty of mistakes. I guess these can't be... Oh, because they're heroic. You can't lift the areas. I make, you know, lots and lots of mistakes all the time. So what is my answer to Devourers? Karax's only anti-air answer is air. So it's either Mirages and Carriers or nothing. So it's not like, oh, I should stop making Carriers because I see Devourers. No, you've got to commit to air as Karax, unfortunately. There's just no other option. Mirages do decently, though, because, again, those Devourers, while they do AoE, the Mirages have the bonus invulnerability. And, well, this might be the wave that we win. The Mirages get the bonus invulnerability, and, oh, that respawned quickly. And they're light. Okay, and I think the Deimos Vikings should clean up. Deimos Vikings are just too good versus weak ground units. It's sad, really. All right, and this, I think, is going to be it. But again, I don't want to speak too soon. Kill the Devourers. Do it. Okay, more carriers, and let's just queue up air armor. Okay, we have some... I mean, that's the thing. Like, Stetman, for example, his Ultralists are power units. Stetman clearly just needed Corruptors that do the big cluster burst of AoE. But maybe he doesn't know that they have that ability. Some people are new to the game. They're still learning. You know what? Who am I to say, how dare you? That's just the way it is. Hey, you got some Ravens. Cool. See, we're winning. There's no point in looking at my teammates and shaking my fists and saying, how dare you, you know? Okay, and I think it might be time. Maybe we just add on more Mirages. They're going to get killed by Abathur. Well, see, this is good because, yeah, now our Annihilators are able to use their Shadow Cannons on valuable targets instead of Hellbats. Alright, there we go. And that might do it. It depends on how fast we can burn down the planetary before the spawn of the next wave. I think we got it, boys. There's the Corruptors. A little too late. We give them a GG. Again, I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm trying to purposely be insulting when I make my comments. It's just direct strike. I'm going to give my opinion, and frankly, I recognize sometimes it's going to be wrong, and that's what you're all there for. To keep me honest, I'm making fun of someone for a strategy. Oh, it turns out that strategy was actually the thing they should have been using the whole time, and it just took some time to pay off. That's another thing with direct strike. You think your teammate's doing something stupid, and sometimes it's just a strategy that requires to get to mid-game to pay off. It's really, you gotta weigh the risks. You know, if it's gonna be a fast game and you're gonna lose before getting to that point, then yeah, it's the wrong thing to do. But sometimes, you know, you gotta play the early game, or you gotta hold out for mid game, whatever. All right, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye now.